Olivia loved few things more than pawing through a dead person's stuff. While her mother searched estate sales for items to resell, Olivia hunted for abandoned memories. Photographs of strangers, forgotten yearbooks, letters found pressed between pages. She might never have a family besides Mom, but at least she could imagine. The soft scent of old woman perfume and powder lured Olivia to a small bedroom. Framed photographs were spread on the bed. In the oldest one, a little girl in faded sepia wore a beanie and a coat with big buttons. She clutched a less than thrilled-looking dog around the neck. Corona Street angled upward, and every step dragged at her feet until they burned with pain. Behind panes of rippled glass, shops displayed watches and little jeweled boxes and bonnets like the ones she wore, only nicer. By the looks of it, she tugged at the ribbon under her neck again, loosening it. If only she could do the same for her stays. She wasn't used to wearing anything, and now she couldn't do so much as wiggle. Sweat trickled under her arms. If only she could duck under the water and free herself of her trappings. But there was no water in sight, only dusty streets that made her thirsty just to look at. It took me a long time to understand where he came from. The little prince, who asked so many questions, never seemed to hear the ones I asked him. It was things he said quite at random that, bit by bit, explained everything. For instance, when he first caught sight of my airplane, I won't draw my airplane, that would be much too complicated for me. He asked, "What's that thing over there?" "It's not a thing, it flies. It's an airplane, my airplane." And I was proud to tell him I could fly. One day as Bran, son of Fable, walked near his fort, he heard sweet tinkling music in the air. Listening to it, he fell asleep. When he awoke, he found lying beside him a silver apple with a branch with bright blossoms on it. He took the branch and returned home, where his warriors awaited him. There he found a woman who greeted him and sang to him of the joys of the sea and the world beyond, with its many islands, each with its own delights. "Leave this lazy life," she said, "and take to the sea." "I will," he replied. With that, the silver apple branch leaped from his hand to hers. So Bran set to sea, with 3 companies of 9 men, each led by one of his foster brothers. After 2 days and 2 nights, they met the god of the sea, riding over the waves of his chariot, for to him the ocean was as easy to cross as solid earth. The god of the sea, too, sang to Bran, telling him of the wonders of the deep and the numberless islands of the sea. I think I'm old enough to be trusted to not use magic by accident, or impress my friends, or some stupid thing. I'm 16, and I'm an old 16. Everyone says so. Because you've given me so much to worry about, and so little to get excited about. The words spilled out like bags of peas from an overstuffed freezer. She didn't know they were ready to leap out until she opened the door. You think I'm betraying a confidence? But that isn't so. I've changed all the names. He wasn't really called Sir Ambrose Bercy. Didn't you see how Arthur stared stupidly when I said that name to him? He didn't understand that at first. I've changed everything. It's like they say in magazines, and in the beginning of books. All the characters in this story are purely fictitious. You never know who they really are. And so it was that the boy Arthur, who was not even yet a knight, was acclaimed the King of England by the people, for try as they might, no one else could ever shift the sword from the stone. King Arthur, with Sir Kay at his right hand, and Merlin at his left, set about bringing peace to the country. He married a beautiful woman, Guinevere, established his castle at Camelot, and founded the Order of Knights of the Round Table. There were 150 seats at that table, and whenever a knight was worthy of sitting there, his name would appear, by Merlin's magic, on his seat.